3 hours later, Joe was taken to the nearest hospital southeast of the town's location, King says to O'Neill. Good. Keep me updated on his progress, will ya? Erin stirs. O'Neill lightly grazes her cheek with his hand. It's good that you found someone that has been through the same craziness as you, Rich, said King. Yeah, we've been through a lot together, O'Neill answered. O'Neill looks through the back window and sees the other van following them. Danny and Nikki are all right? O'Neill asks his friend. Yeah, they're fine. We're bringing everyone back to base for a debrief. Then we'll buy you all a plane ticket for wherever you want to go. King looks at O'Neill. I owe you that much, my friend.
Zulu 003. This is Zulu 01. We're at the location. No dogs. I repeat, no dogs.
King turns the volume up on the radio.
Zulu 003. Hold up. We found something. There's a body of one here. Zulu 001. We're heading to your position. Be there in 3 minutes.
Erin awakes. What's happening? They never leave their dead, King, O'Neill said with a slight panic in his voice. King grabs the radio.
Zulu team, this is team leader 77 Zulu. Fall back now. I repeat, fall back now.
The soldier moves towards the body of the dogman. The smell coming from it is enough to burn your nose hairs. The 6 men stop as they hear King's voice come over the radio, ordering them to fall back. What's he talking about? There's nothing here except this smelly carcass. Another 6 men join them.
Team leader 77 Zulu. This is Zulu 001 and Zulu 003. Nothing.
Screams come through the radio. With one swipe of its claws, the gray dogman severs the soldier's arm, his fingers holding the mic button down. The automatic gunfire coming through the radio is drowned out from the screams of men being torn apart. The sounds of wet rips, bones breaking, fill their ears. A slow gurgle comes over the radio, followed by a deep sniff and fading footfalls. King slams his fist on the dash. God damn it. How many were there, O'Neill? How fucking many? 12 men were just ripped apart. Pete, I told you their number was unknown. You know the intelligence of these things, firsthand, how cunning and ruthless they can be. You see 1 or 2, but there are dozens more you don't see. Wait, Nikki said. There was a young black-eyed one, the same one that was around the cabin. She said it saved her life. That bastard with the icy blue eyes was going to kill her, and the black-eyed one pushed her away. Holy shit, it saved her, said King. That's what she said, answered Erin. King grabs the radio.
Caravan 2. Ask the girl if that black-eyed dogman she encountered helped her. Caravan 1. Hold up.
I don't understand. Why is that so important? Asked Erin. It means that it's been watching her. It would be tracking her. We figured out that these things mark people, for lack of a better word.
Caravan 1. She confirmed that a young black-eyed dogman saved her life.
Shit, King yells. What? Erin, the black-eyed one is a pup. The rest of the pack will be trailing it. Oh no. The van's tires screech as it slides to a halt. The other van comes inches away from crashing into the back of the first one. The road's blocked, sir, said the driver. 2 men from the second van walk towards the road blockage, shining their lights around the area. She silently creeps towards the machines. She can smell the human female. Her ears flick at sounds coming from the forest. She peeks through the window of the van. Even though the windows are tinted, she can see perfectly. 1 human in the front and 2 in the back. 1 is the female human. She slowly moves around the right side of the machine. She places her claws on the handle of the doors and opens it. A gasp comes from the female as one of the males goes for a weapon. She moves in a flash, biting down on the human's throat. Blood sprays on the windshield. She quickly turns and slashes the other human across his chest with her 2-inch black claws. She peers at the female, sniffing her. Fear is pouring from her. Nikki stares at the black-eyed pup, a fresh scar visible from the base of its ear to the lower part of its jaw. The pup reaches out for her as a scream slices through the air. Nikki sees her opening to escape as the young dogman looks in the direction of the scream. Nikki bolts through the open door of the van and into the darkness of the night. She turns to see that the human is running into the trees. In one leap, she's out of the machine and 15 feet onto the grass. He watches as the humans inspect his trap. Humans are so predictable, he thinks, as they shine their lights through the trees. Movement catches his eye. It's the same human the black-eyed pup pushed away. No matter, as she'll be easy to track. He lets out a roar. The 2 men pull their sidearms as 3 other men and a woman exit the first machine. Weapons raised, he recognizes 2 of the humans. A toothy grin comes over his menacing face. "Circle up," O'Neill orders. Erin sees the blood on the windshield of the other van. "Rich," the other van. She runs to the van. "Nikki, Danny." "Oh God," Erin says as she climbs into the van. She pushes her index and middle finger against Danny's neck. "Thank God," Erin says to herself. "Rich, Danny's hurt." O'Neill jogs over to the other van and climbs in. "Danny, get up, man." Danny's eyes open. It happened so quick. That little black-furred fucker. It killed the driver, slashed me, then I blacked out. "Where's Nikki?" Erin helps Danny sit up as she wraps a jacket around his chest, trying her best to stop the bleeding. O'Neill shines his tack light and sees indentations in the soft dirt by the roadside. "She went this way," O'Neill says. "King, we have to go after Nikki," O'Neill shouted. "King?" O'Neill looks as a massive, 9-foot black-furred dogman covered in blood is holding King by his neck. Holy shit. I didn't even hear it, O'Neill thinks as the beast snarls at him. Erin looks through the blood-stained windshield and sees the beast. "Danny, can you run?" O'Neill whispers, just loud enough for Danny and Erin to hear. "I really don't want to," Danny says in a sarcastic tone. O'Neill sees King pull a grenade from his vest pocket. "Fucking better. It's about to get real fucking hot over here." Oh shit. O'Neill turns and pulls Danny from the van. "Let's go." "Erin, grab the guns. We have to move." O'Neill looks at King as he sees him pull the pin. "Run!" King yells as the beast smashes him into the hard concrete. The grenade rolls out of King's hand. A bright orange and red light fills his eyes as the force from the explosion pounds into him, forcing him from his feet. Shrapnel flies through the air and a piece slices the side of his face. He lets out a whimper as he hits into a pine tree behind him. He regains his feet, shaking his head. He looks at the burning piles of metal, one of his pack laying headless on the road. He throws back his massive head and howls. As his head lowers, his icy blue eyes lock onto the 3 humans running into the forest. His ears flick as he hears footfalls from either side of him. His pack comes around him, yips and clicks. He howls again. One by one, the rest of the dogmen throw back their heads and howl with their alpha. He pushes off the forest floor. They cut through the forest, carving a path of destruction in their wake. He slides as he comes to a stop. He snaps his head, looking towards the east. He growls and points. 3 of his pack take off in the direction. Him and 2 others, including his white-furred mate, take off in the other direction. Guys, I can't keep running. I've lost too much blood. You have to leave me, Danny says, sweat mixed with blood dripping down his brow. No, O'Neill says sternly. We aren't leaving you to be torn apart. Listen to me, Rich. Give me my bag. I have a surprise for those fuckers. Danny, Rich, we don't have time for this bullshit. You and Erin get to Nikki and get the fuck out of here. Take this. Danny hands O'Neill a GPS tracker. This was from your buddy King. He gave it to me in case the vans got separated. They could come find us. I turned it on as soon as we stopped. Survive. Help is on the way. It was an honor to share the field of battle with you, soldier. Thank you, sir. O'Neill salutes Danny. Erin wraps her arms around Danny. Take care of him, sweetheart, Danny says to Erin. Danny pushes his two friends away. Run. O'Neill and Erin continue in the direction Nikki ran in. Danny opens his pack and takes out the claymore. He sets it about 12 inches in front of him and sits with his back against the tree. He then pulls out a joint he had stashed away. He lights the joint and takes in a deep drag. He grabs his sidearm and checks the mag as he continues to smoke his joint. He reaches back into his bag and pulls out a photo of him in his earlier years. His arms around a beautiful woman, big smiles across their faces. I'll see you soon, my love, Danny says as he takes another deep drag from his joint. The ground beneath him starts to shake. He puts the photo in his pocket and pulls the slide of his pistol, chambering a .45 caliber round. Sets of eyes appear from the darkness. Silhouettes start to take form. Two dogmen appear from the darkness, fangs and claws bared. Their jaws snap as they move closer. Danny raises his pistol and lets off 2 shots. One round impacts a beast's shoulder. It doesn't even flinch. They continue to charge towards him. Come and get it, bitches. As the dogmen cross the point of no return, Danny winks at them as the claymore explodes. Steel balls rip through flesh. Blood flows from Danny's ears as his eardrums burst. A loud ring shakes through Danny. He opens his eyes and coughs. That one fucking hurt, he says. His eyes focus in as he sees another beast slowly walking towards him, its red eyes burning into his soul. Well, aren't you a big bastard? The dogman towers over Danny. Danny looks up at the beast. Get on with it. No point dragging this out. The red-eyed beast sniffs Danny. Danny sees his sidearm just inches away. Danny reaches for his weapon. The beast moves in a blink. Danny's eyes open wide. Blood pours from the gash in his neck. He slumps over, a slight smile on his face as everything goes to black. The sound from the explosion rings through her ears as the smell of blood enters her nose. She knows some of her kin are dead. It doesn't matter to her. She needs to catch up to the human female and protect her from her pack. She can see the human female. She leaps through the air, colliding with the female. Nikki and the black-eyed pup roll through grass and dried-up pine needles. Air leaves her lungs as she hits into the trunk of a small tree. Nikki groans in pain as she turns onto her knees. Using the tree, she stands to her feet. Nikki looks at the pup. It's shaking its head, blinking its eyes rapidly, trying to regain its focus. Nikki looks around. The forest is silent. The light of the moon shines dimly through the tall trees. A shuffle catches her attention. Her eyes move in the direction of the noise. The young dogman is gone. Nikki lets out a gasp, frantically looking around. She draws the SIG P220 that Danny had given to her. A twig snaps. Nikki quickly turns her head. The black-eyed dogman is only feet in front of her. How do you move so fast? Nikki says aloud. The young dogman sits back on its hind legs and cocks her head. Thank you for helping me, Nikki's voice shakes. The pup cocks her head again. She moves closer to the human. Please, please don't hurt me. Nikki turns her head away as the pup presses her wet nose against Nikki's cheek. Nikki takes a deep breath as she reaches her hand out. She moves her eyes to the human's hand. The feel of the human's touch along the side of her face, where the white-furred dogman slashed her. She lets out a low, rumbling growl. It's okay. I won't hurt you. Nikki stares into the pup's eyes. Nikki can see intelligence in the blackness. Her eyes open wide. A wall of brown fur collides into the young pup. Nikki screams. The black-eyed pup bites to get free of the 7-foot-tall beast's grasp. She sinks her fangs into her kin's bicep. She feels a strong grip on the back of neck as the brown monster pulls her, slamming her hard into the ground. Her eyes widen as the beast stomps down on her chest with its massive clawed foot. Her rib cage cracks beneath the force. Blood flows from her mouth. Nikki unloads her magazine. The beast turns, its breath labored, its amber eyes narrow on Nikki. A voice suddenly calls out, "Nikki, get down." She drops to the ground, covering her head with her hands. She screams as O'Neill and Erin hold down the trigger on their respective weapons. Fur and blood fly through the air, a solid thud as the brown beast hits the ground. Nikki gets up and runs to the black-eyed pup, struggling to breathe on the ground not 10 feet away. Nikki strokes the fur of the young one. "Thank you." "Nikki, no." O'Neill rushes to change his magazine. It's too late. He slices through the human's flesh with his dagger-like claws. His massive jaws wrap around its neck. His fangs penetrate the soft flesh. He growls as he shakes the human from side to side. His icy blue eyes locked on O'Neill. Automatic gunfire fills the air as tears flow from Erin's eyes. His fur stands up. He pushes off the forest floor, the lifeless corpse of the human female ragdolls in his jaws as he moves through the trees. Snaps and whistles. Pieces of bark and dirt move through the air as a barrage of bullets move towards him. The sounds of the beast's footfalls fade in the night air. "Nikki, no," Erin says as she sobs. O'Neill places his hand on her shoulder. He picks her up and holds her tight. "It's okay, babe." "No, it's not, Rich. This fucking thing has killed everyone we know and love." O'Neill wipes the tears from Erin's cheek. "It's time we put this to an end." A whimper catches their attention. O'Neill spins on his heels, M4 raised. He slowly moves towards the sound. His light shines on the mangled body of the young black-furred dogman. O'Neill looks the dogman over. "You're screwed there, girl. I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry I couldn't save her. The best I can do for you is promise that I will kill that blue-eyed bastard." Erin approaches. The pup's eyes look at her. She lets out a whimper. "Rich, we can't leave her like this." O'Neill clicks the fire selector on his weapon to semi-automatic. The black-eyed pup closes its eyes. Pop! A single shot connects with the pup's forehead. "Rich, look." O'Neill looks in the direction and sees the trail of blood leading deeper into the forest. "Let's go." Eyes up. "Make your shots count." O'Neill and Erin move quickly through the forest, following the trail of blood. "I lost it," Erin says. "I can't find it anywhere." "Erin, what? What is that?" O'Neill looks up. "Ah, fuck. Damn it." Erin leans over and begins to vomit. O'Neill's light is shining on Nikki's half-devoured corpse 20 feet up in a tree. Her organs and bones exposed, blood dripping down the trunk of the tree. "Rich, we need to move. It's going to come back." "That's what we want. We need to kill this fucking thing." "Over there, those rocks provide cover." We can wait for it to return and then take it out for good. O'Neill and Erin get to work. They begin to carve spikes, tying them tightly together around a thick log with 550 paracord. O'Neill had unwrapped from the barrel of his M4A1. They set a tripwire close to the tree and pulled the log up with the spikes up. "So what's going to happen here?" asked Erin. "We're going to turn that fucking thing into a pin cushion. Instead of pins, we are using 2.5-foot spikes." "Let's hope this works," said Erin. A few hours go by. The air is still, the stale scent of death in the air. "Erin, here it comes." Erin strains her eyes as she peers into the darkness. There, Erin points at the shadow moving through the trees. "Get ready," O'Neill says as he raises his sight to his eye. O'Neill puts his finger to his mouth, signaling Erin to be quiet. It moves towards the tree, pushing through the cord. A spike pulls out of the ground as the log drops down towards the Dogman. A loud yelp escapes its maw as a spike sinks deep into its shoulder, another through its neck, and another creates a hole in its head. A loud thud as the beast falls to the ground. Erin and O'Neill move towards the beast. Turning on their lights, they see it. Holy shit, Rich. The deep amber eyes of the white female shining in the light. Its white fur stained crimson red. A long pink tongue hanging from its mouth. It's another female. It's his mate. Brush whips around him as he runs on all fours through the woods. He suddenly stops and sniffs deeply. His eyes narrow, the smell of humans. He blasts through the woods, following the smell. He stops on the hill. He can see his mate moving through the trees. He scans the trees as he sniffs. Where are they? There. Suddenly, the sound of his mate yelping fills his ears. He watches as she falls to the ground. Blood flows around her. He sees the forest light up. 2 humans emerge from a cluster of rocks moving towards his mate. He begins to growl as rage fills him. His growl gets louder and louder. It turns into a howl long and drawn out, mixed with rage and grief. He leaps down the hill towards the humans. He draws closer and closer, icy blue eyes fixed on the female human. He's mere feet away. His back legs push him through the air, claws extended. The female's green eyes meet his. O'Neill dives between the massive beast and Erin, pulling his blade as the beast collides with him. He smashes his blade into the flesh of the black and red monster. He digs his claws into the human side. The hot crimson liquid flows around his fingers. O'Neill screams in pain. 2 bullets enter the blue-eyed dogman's leg as the other 2 graze his thigh. He turns and throws O'Neill towards Erin. O'Neill hits hard into the ground and rolls into Erin. "Rich!" Erin screams as she helps O'Neill to his feet. They look as the black and red furred dogman stands to his almost 9-foot height. He has grown strong over the last couple of months. His chest has filled out. The muscles in his arms and legs are clearly defined. The claws at the end of his toes are long, digging into the dirt of the forest floor. He spreads his dagger-like claws at the tips of his long fingers. He rakes a tree trunk next to him as he narrows his icy blue eyes. A deep guttural growl bellows from his maw, his long fangs glistening in the moonlight. Erin picks up her rifle and takes aim. O'Neill blinks and he's on them. He swings his powerful arm, knocking Erin through the air. O'Neill draws his pistol. He turns, his eyes burning with anger. O'Neill's aim is perfect. All 3 shots hit their mark as blood squirted from the holes in his chest. He roars as he feels the rage boiling. "Oh, shit," O'Neill exclaims. They didn't even faze him. He flinches, as 5 more bullets enter his flesh. He turns to see the human female pointing her weapon at him, smoke coming from the barrel, the slide locked back. Erin releases the magazine and reaches for the other on her belt. He charges her. Erin drops the magazine. It's too late. He chops down hard on her arm, severing it at the elbow. Erin screams out in agony. He pulls the female's arm from his jaws, tossing it to the side. He raises his claws, his eyes narrowed. Erin's green eyes widen, images of Matt, Lisa, her home, and Rich flash through her mind. O'Neill screams a war cry as he flies through the air, landing on its back. He drives his 12-inch blade into the dogman's neck. He grabs O'Neill, lifting him over his head. Erin looks on in terror as the dogman squeezes the life from O'Neill. The whole world around the 2 warriors freezes. He looks deep into the eyes of the man that wiped out his family and then his mate. O'Neill stares back into the icy blue eyes of the dogman that has haunted his dreams and killed his friends. The sound of a gunshot snaps O'Neill from his trance. The .45 caliber bullet enters his icy blue eye, continuing through his skull, brain, and out the back of his head. Brain matter, fur, and blood splash on the ground. His grip loosens and O'Neill hits the ground. Erin runs to O'Neill. "Are you all right?" "Oh my God, Rich." O'Neill opens his eyes. "What a fucking shot, baby." Erin laughs as she kisses O'Neill. A spotlight lights up the bloody scene. Erin and O'Neill look up. A helicopter hovers over them. Voices cut through the darkness. Men surround them. They're dressed in full tactical gear.
Search Party Bravo. Friendlies found.
A voice comes back over the radio.
Search Party Bravo. Get them home. Copy that.
O'Neill and Erin lay down. 6 months later, waves crash into the white sands of the beach. Seagulls fly overhead. O'Neill and Erin are sitting on a towel, a cooler full of beers next to them. "This is what I'm talking about," O'Neill says. "Yes, it is," says Erin with a huge smile across her face. O'Neill grabs another beer from the cooler as Erin stands to her feet. "Where you going?" "To take a swim." "Are you coming?" asked Erin. "In a bit." Erin unties her bikini bottom and walks towards the water. Her bikini top falls as she looks back at O'Neill and winks. O'Neill stands and drops his beer back into the cooler. He looks around and takes a deep breath in. "Stay here, King." The 4-month-old German Shepherd cocks his head. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Descent into the Unknown for more horror content. If you have any real cryptid encounters, or you're a horror writer wanting to share your stories, please feel free to email me in the description anytime.